serious. And I want you to know that your stories are very important. And no matter how objectivist you become about things, you got to remember that your objectivity is useful and wonderful and everything, but your spirit must have grief. There must be a place where your viciousness and your anger and your drama and all that has to become a gift to something bigger than yourself and not just the society. You must give to one another. You must give your art to one another. You must give your social work to one another. You got to do that. That's why we're human. We give love to each other in whatever way we find to do it, yeah? Each does in their own way, some small, some big, and some in unknown ways. But there's also a third thing. You've got to give the product of the grief of how hard it is to be a human being communally together. You've got to somehow find a way to turn that grief of how hard it is to be a human into some kind of beauty that you can give to the thing that you cannot see, that is not a person, and it ain't in your temples, you know? And it's in the ground itself. It's in the ocean. It's in the valleys. It's the holy nature. No human knows what that looks like. Nobody's got a handle on it. But everybody got the capacity and is worthy enough to give a gift to it. And I don't know how you're going to go about doing that. I just know how I do it. And some of you know me, know what that means. But that's not important for us to get into. So I'm going to make a little blessing as I leave. And then I'll go up and try to sign books as long as in class and they let us stand around. It's going to be up there, though, because so don't come up here to make me sign books because you know what happened? I'll do it. And they'll be mad at me, so. I'll just make a blessing so you don't feel so sad and you don't feel so guarded. You know, so your stories can bubble out and you can write your books and say your things. And those of you, please learn your ancestral tongue. Or one of them. You may have many. Learn one of them. You must learn languages. This country is insane. LA is pretty good. They got lots of languages here. You're cool. You go to rent a car, you get 7 translators. It's good. No, it's good. I love that. I think that's good. But learn your ancestral language if you can possibly swing it, at least to be able to speak with the old-timers. And then, when you got that under your belt, I'm not talking about writing it, because writing a language got nothing to do with language. I'll get that. You come to my writing classes. We'll get into that. 8 days, man, in Mexico. We'll tell you all about it. But then, when you're done learning your ancestral tongue, learn the tongue of your ancestors' enemies. And all the Inuit, big Indian jokes. I already know English, you know, but learn it more, you know. I don't know. I'm trying not to be too funny, but it's really important to learn these two things because once an Armenian guy came to me, a kid, and he says, oh, okay, and he went off, and 2 years later he came back, he could speak Armenian. It's a big guy. He's from down here. He's from San Diego. And he spoke Armenian. He came up to me. I said, I can speak Armenian. I did it. I says, how is it? I can talk to my grandparents. I know all the deals they're making and everything. It's amazing. I said, well, that's good. And then he started whispering. And just like on the stage, he said, and I learned Turkish too. I said, why are you whispering? Wow, my ancestors might hear. Yeah. He learned Turkish, I said, really loud. He got all scared. And he says, why are you really whispering? Because I like Turkish better. No, of course, Armenian Turkish is a lot of borrowing. But the point is, there's not going to be no love between human beings until we get into our languages and revamp this language that is going downhill with the computers, because it is a mining warfare language. You hear all the Buddhists talking about burning down the house of this and melting all the bodhicitta. You know, that's a warfare language, man. It's a warfare language. That's okay. I'm not putting on Buddhism at all. I'm very friendly with all these guys. But I'm saying in English, you know, the war on poverty. You know, man, it's a war, man. It's a war. I don't want a war. I don't want a war. This is a warfare culture, man, because it's based on extraction. It's based on getting what you want, and it's not based on grief. And until it's based on grief, it won't be based on art, because anything that's art, that says it's art and ain't based on grief, is not art. It's only depression. So I'm going to bless you so that you can make some beauty out of your griefs and get together. And don't lose your diversity. Do not mush up and homogenize. The trick is to get together without losing your differences. You need each other to survive our orthodoxies.